What is going on, party people? It is I, PhenomSage, back at it once again with another video, doing something a little bit different this time around. We are talking about a movie, just a small little indie film known as Infinity War. Yeah, got a chance to see it last night. Matthew, my good friend PhenomSage, has just saw the movie. What's going on, my boy? What's going on through your head?
A lot of things, dude. A lot of things.
Yeah.
You heard my first impressions. Like, I don't even know where to begin with this.
It's going to be difficult. Something to note before we even begin talking about this movie. This is a spoiler discussion. We are going in detail.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out if you haven't seen it. Please, we don't want that stuff to get around. This is just for people that have seen the movie, or people, I guess, that just don't even care. But we ask that you please not spread it around. So, my God, movie.
That'll make them want to do it more.
Yeah, it will. I'm just encouraging them. This movie, dude. What's going on here, man? What's your main takeaway? I guess that's the question. Is what is your main after leaving the theater? What was your main feeling?
My main feeling, what I take away from this is just, I love movies again, man. I love movies again. I told you this. I've gone through a long drought of just movies only being mediocre, never really feeling that hype. I finally feel that passion again.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's just so much in this movie that just lends itself to exciting people, to making people cry. Just such a wide array of emotions, and based on all of the impressions I'm getting from Facebook, Twitter, people love this movie, dude.
Yeah, it's just, again, you hit the nail on the head there, saying that it just makes you feel so many different emotions. I mean, at one point I was laughing, legitimately laughing, and then legitimately crying, and then cheering. There's just so many different types, and it's just so crazy how well it's put together. I guess is how do you laugh out loud and cry in the same movie and have it actually work
so
cohesively? Yeah, it's just such a well-balanced experience going in, and it was something that I was a little bit worried about. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried. I knew it was gonna be great, but there was just a part of me that thought there's so many characters here. How do the Guardians work with what's going on with T'Challa? What's going on there? It's such a big, grand in scale type of film too. I think that was my main takeaway, was just how I was left breathless after the movie, and then I just felt in my head I was just thinking there was just so much there. There was just such a, oh my God, it's just big, and it's this discussion is not easy. Let me tell you, it's not easy to talk cohesively and make sense, because it's just such a big movie.
I think it's gonna be a lot of just talking, a lot of random points. I don't think there's going to be a lot of structure here.
Yeah,
we're not the Russo brothers. We can't make that work.
Yeah, we can't piece this together. There's no way. There's no way. The beginning of the film, though, let's at least start there. How did you feel about just the opening of the film? How it just, we're immediately in, Thanos is right there, pretty much picks off right where Ragnarok left off.
I was surprised at how immediate it was from Thor Ragnarok, which makes Thor a mandatory watch before this one.
Yeah, I kind of wish Black Panther and Thor were switched.
Yeah,
I think that would have been cool, because you would have been left with that feeling oh man, that sense of dread when that ship appears and everything. You would still be left with that, and it would feel a little bit more
like these two things coming together.
Yeah, I wish Black Panther came out in November. I feel like that release date would have worked better for that film too. I don't know. I'm not gonna. We don't need to be talking about Black Panther's success. I think that film would have done fine either way. But
the opening scene though is great. It's a great opening scene. We're not here to talk about just going into the nitty gritty. We're just here to talk about it. I want to. One thing you mentioned before was the comedy and the drama and how well balanced they are. One thing I didn't talk to you about before we did this was this movie probably has the best Marvel humor in a Marvel movie.
The best Marvel humor, and just it was just integrated so well, where I was never taken out of the film. Never. With Thor, with even Black Panther, there's so many Marvel movies where I always appreciate it, but it's just okay, let's keep going now. You made your joke, let's keep going. But this, it just flowed so well with the script. And I felt the same way with Civil War too, how just well that humor was. But this movie's pretty funny. Like,
I think it works even better in this
it
movie
does.
because you have a much larger cast to work with, a much more interesting dynamics to work with. I guess that's a good question to like spend a little bit of time on. What was your favorite dynamic in the movie? Like, what was your favorite?
Oh my gosh, there's
like,
just
two characters interacting. There?
There's just so. I mean, you have like Thor and Rocket. You have Thanos and Gamora. You have Tony Stark and you know, Star-Lord. You have Spider-Man and Tony Stark. You have Iron Man and Doctor Strange. Like, Cap, and there's just so many different character dynamics. It's hard to pick between them because, like,
it is.
I think my favorite was probably Thor and Rocket's. I loved how Rocket was like, he kind of felt for him. He felt for him.
That was one of the better ones.
Like, the way he was like talking, he was like, so you lost everyone you love. Like he kind of like, I like that. Like, I like how like he wasn't like making fun of him or anything. Like, oh, you're just a crybaby or whatever. Like, he like, I don't know. He like, I felt something there. Like, there was some emotion put into that. And even when they were trying to light up that star or whatever, like, he didn't want Thor to do that. And then when Thor like fell down or whatever, he just runs up to him. Thor, are you okay? Like, the camaraderie there is so well done. And like,
very well done.
It's and when he appears to in Wakanda, he like by using the Bifrost from his axe, and you just have Rocket on his shoulder. Oh my god, dude. So good, dude. So good. And then just that whole scene too with the Stormbreaker, how they reignite the star and everything. Like, that was cool. I really dug that.
Very cool scene. Very, very nice cameo from that Peter Dinklage greatness.
Yeah,
there.
so good, dude. That was giving me some God of War vibes. A lot of God of War vibes were in there. Like, super like Norse nerdy, like weird folklore kind of stuff going on with his character. Just like the whole idea of Mjolnir and where the gauntlet came from and everything. Cool. It was really cool. That's probably my favorite dynamic. What do you have something that topped that in your opinion, or something else that you really liked?
Yeah, there's, like you said, there's a lot of good ones. Probably my favorite, and this dynamic has existed before. It's not like it something came together where it was like, oh my god, seeing these two characters together was amazing.
Yeah.
It was more so just like the way that they developed it. I already talked to you about this, but what they did with Scarlet Witch and Vision in this movie was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, just
led to the most dramatic and emotional moment in the movie for me. What they did with their character, very well set up at the beginning of the movie too. Just seeing them living their lives, seeing their back and forth. It wasn't cringy or anything. Like, you actually bought them as like people who cared about each other. And
I think that's the first, aside from like Tony Stark and Pepper Potts. Like, I really haven't bought any of the relationships in any of the Marvel movies. Like, never. Like, I can't think of anyone besides Pepper Potts and Tony.
Well, I don't know about all that. I feel like Pepper and Tony are actually the weaker of the I'm not saying they're bad or anything. I feel like they were the weaker of the couples in this movie.
I just mean in the entire MCU. In the movie, they're barely even in it. Yeah, I wasn't speaking on behalf of the movie. Just like on all, like, it was crazy how much that relationship between Vision and Scarlet Witch worked. Even though it was pretty much created in this film alone. Like, they teased it a little bit in the previous, in Ultron, I believe.
Yeah, they teased it
in Civil War too. Like, but this, like, you're just in it immediately. And like, oh, they're together. Like, it just works. Like, it just flows so well, and that's why it surprised me, because the relationships in the MCU normally aren't very good.
Yeah, another relationship that I thought was really well done was the Star-Lord and Gamora relationship.
That conversation they had in the Milano, that hurt me. Like, that was like tough, because he had to make that promise, and
when he had to finally do it, he did.
He did, and that's what surprised me. I thought for sure he was gonna pull up his pistol and try to like shoot Thanos in the face or something, but like, no, he would have killed her there if Thanos let him. Like, if Thanos didn't stop him. Yeah, like, really shows you how tightly knit just all the Guardians are as a whole. And especially just that's a good relationship, and they built it over now 3 films, so very deserving of that kind of moment, and it paid off in full for sure.
Very well done. That what's the actress's name? Zoe Saldana. She was really, really good.
Oh yeah, especially when they were after the Soul Stone. That conversation between Thanos and her was just, whew, oh boy, like, my God, dude, like, heavy.
Yeah, it was incredible. The scene where she just like breaks down crying, like what was the scene? I'm like, I told you this before, but like so much happens in this movie.
It's hard to
it's
like.
It's really hard for me to keep track.
I'm legit. I'm seeing it like today, technically at the time of this being uploaded. Like I'm seeing it later, so like I definitely like I need that second viewing just to piece this film together again. But yeah,
do you remember what scene that was when she like breaks down crying?
I think was that the part where her sister was being tortured.
No.
That was Nebula was really cool in this movie too. I didn't think that she would even be a character in this movie, but like she really pulled off. I always loved Nebula as a character. She's so cool in both the Guardians movies, and I don't know, I just love her character. I'm really glad that she got some shine here.
Was it during the Soul Stone sequence?
Well, I remember she starts laughing hysterically, and we have this moment, like, she realizes, oh, you're beat. You can't get the Soul Stone because you don't love anybody. And then, like, oh, okay. And then she tries to kill herself there. She legit grabs that double-edged blade and just plunges it inside of her. There's that moment, too, before Star-Lord pulls the trigger on the gun or whatever. Like, she's very emotional there, too, and you definitely see it.
No, it's not that. I remember like her voice going. She went mute. Like everything around her went mute, and you just hear the music, and you just see her screaming and crying on her knees. I think it was at the end of that Thanos Star-Lord scene.
Oh yeah. When she thinks that she killed Thanos, that's it. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
She had to kill her own father, and like, good, dude. And that was all fake. It was all from the Reality Stone. That was really cool.
That was all I needed.
Again, completely forgot about that scene. Not because it was bad. Just this movie's just so big. Like. It's ridiculous.
I remember that's how good this movie is. That scene stood out to me, and I couldn't quite put a finger on which one it was because just so much happened. But yeah, that scene was spectacular because it showed that she did care about Thanos.
That was cool. I just in the flashback too with him on that planet. Like I love like when he hands her the blade and everything. My favorite part of that scene was when like she looks back to see her family all of her people basically dying, and then Thanos like kind of tilts her head back. Like, oh my god. And Josh Brolin, Thanos in this movie, dude. Damn.
Everyone's already said it.
Yeah, everyone's already said it. I don't it's probably going to be the thumbnail for this video, but like Thanos is just so freaking cool, man. Like
he's so good.
He's scary. Like he has this presence. I think out of any Marvel villain, I'm most scared of him. Not because of his power, just his demeanor. Like he just has this like this force behind him, just so powerful and commanding. Yeah, really cool. Probably my favorite Marvel villain. Not gonna lie.
Probably that.
Yeah,
he's the Marvel villain. I like that he's intimidating and he has a presence, and yet he's also really likable as a character.
Yeah.
Like I never. He's not dumb. He's not so evil that you hate him. Like you understand. Everyone's already said this. He's a really sympathetic character. He's really likable, and you understand where he's coming from. He says this line. It's one thing to have a villain that believes what they're doing is right, and that's what people praise Thanos for. Is that he believes what he's doing is right. But there's this one line where he talks about a country that he already liberated, Gamora's planet. And he says that what he did save that planet. Like, the children there are now living happily. They actually have food to support everybody on the planet.
Yeah, I remember that.
One line really stood out to me because it changed it from not only being something where Thanos thinks he's right, he shows he's right. Like, what he did, it saved that planet.
Yeah, and I remember. I think the line was like, "Full bellies and prosperous lives now lie there," like something like that. That was just powerful. And like you see that. Not only do you see that, but like it makes you think about like what, like how it's tough because you have this villain that has this viewpoint, and like you just have to stop him. But like in a way, you kind of like he's a bad guy still. Like you definitely don't want him to win, but. I don't know, like that's just it's so well crafted, and I love how like how you feel for him pretty much immediately too. Like you get that vibe from him, you know what he's trying to do, and like even when he couldn't get the Soul Stone, I was kind of sad for him. I'm not even gonna lie. Like and then when he eventually does and ends up having to take Gamora's life, you really felt for him. Like he actually starts crying. Like that was That was crazy. Wasn't expecting that. Really wasn't expecting.
And when Scarlet Witch is forced to do it, like, he sympathizes with her. He pets her head. He's like, I understand what you had to go through with that.
Yeah, but again, like, nobody believes that because they think he's just like a monster. It thinks that he's just there to kill and that's it. Like, he has his purpose. He has his beliefs, and
that's what makes the ending scene all the more powerful. Like,
yeah,
he's watching the sunrise, just like he said.
Yeah.
And somebody actually they brought up this really interesting thought for what the next movie will be. And I don't know if they'll go this route, but if they did, it would be so interesting. It would be so unique and weird and cool if in the next movie you see Earth and it is prosperous. Like, everything is better because of what Thanos did. And there has to be like some kind of moral dilemma where it's like, if we bring the people back, this goes away.
That would be really interesting. Yeah. That would be really interesting. I don't know but you would have to have like some kind of turmoil between the team on whether or not what they're doing is right. And I just don't see any of the team agreeing that like this is good. Like, Cap is not going to be like, he's super against death in any way. Like, he's not going to feel that. Like, again, like he's the one that wanted to protect Vision. He's like, no, we don't trade lives here.
I don't think you need a civil war argument where it's like people in the group are fighting against each other, but I think it would be interesting just seeing the group who, like, nobody's gonna disagree that they have to take down Thanos, but it would be really interesting, like, having all their friends like dead, but then seeing this world that's just so much happier and more prosperous.
Yeah, I that would be.
And like you get like a little question like, is this really worth it?
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool. And like, and something I got the sense of is like when Thanos snapped his fingers and erased all those people, I didn't like get the sense that he was happy. Like, I felt that like even like just his facial, like, again, my God, the mocap is so good in this movie. Like, you just see his face at the end. Like, he looks sad. Like, he looks like maybe not full of regret, but he just like feels this sense of just like, now what? Like, okay, like that's done.
Even the smile at the end of the movie, like, it's a sad smile.
Yeah, like he's just like, my job here is done, kind of thing. Like, but like, I think he's just left with kind of like an emptiness, and that was just so well translated within the mocap and with Josh Brolin's performance.
His performance is insane.
So good, dude.
One of the best mocap performances I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay, so it wouldn't be a spoiler discussion if we didn't talk about some of the deaths.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Like, I think the death that kind of sticks with you the most is probably you were saying Vision, right? You were definitely feeling Vision's death.
It was not necessarily, well, yeah, because the thing with Vision's death was like, even before the movie, I was like, it might not happen, but it also might happen. Like, I was fully expecting it to happen, but I was also kind of hesitant because they show it in the trailer, like, and you kind of assume like, oh, he has a gemstone in his head, like, of course he's gonna die.
Yeah, but you see that scene in the movie pretty early on, and like, oh, he got away from that, so that was just like a ploy to make you believe that he died or whatever. Well,
yeah, but the thing was, I was fully prepared for him to die regardless, so it wasn't. What really struck me about his death wasn't him dying. It was, like I said, the dynamic between him and Scarlet Witch, and Scarlet Witch actually having to do it herself.
Yeah, that was really well done. Definitely pulled on the heartstrings there. And just like, I don't know, like, it's so crazy that you felt for that relationship. As an audience, we felt for that relationship. And it was just made in the movie. Like, that wasn't something that they've built over time or anything. Like, Scarlet Witch,
a little bit in Civil War.
Civil War they did. And I guess that is, hats off to the Russos for actually continuing a story, a plot line there. But like, I mean, just
randomly writing in Hulk X Black Widow.
Yeah, just like random stuff like that. But like, I just like how you feel. Like, those are relatively new characters, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, Vision has only been in, like, 3 movies, barely. And, like, it's just cool how, like, you feel for him more so than... Or you feel for that dynamic more so than some of the other dynamics of characters that have been in since the very beginning. And that's really cool, like, how they make you feel that way towards brand new, fresh characters. And even, like, Wakanda as a place, too. Like, you feel... Like, Wakanda is there. Like, I really like that. How it's just like, yeah, we do realize that this was just made apparent, like, earlier this year. But like this is like I love that. Like that's so cool, and like you just get a sense of the whole scale of everything, and like just how immense and big this is. Not even just the characters, but the places and the things that have happened and everything. And again, that was like one of my big takeaways. There was just oh my god, just becoming breathless after the movie. Gamora's death again, like that I wasn't expecting that. I was not thinking Gamora.
It was something. It was definitely, that was the other part that like really struck me, because she was the one that I wasn't expecting. Like that was somebody like I don't think anyone really considered that happening.
Wasn't expecting any of the Guardians.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't just like, oh, she just died in battle. Like that was a plot line that kind of.
That's what I loved about it, was that like she actually had a major role in the story and with Thanos.
Yeah, real cool. And then like,
and I know that James Gunn had a part in this movie. Like he had a role in. I mean, I know he was executive producer, but I assume he also had a role in part of the script as well.
Yeah,
so
at least input. Like, yeah, I'm sure the Russo brothers like, hey, is this okay? Like, can we do this? Like, I'm sure there's something.
I think he might be responsible for some of that stuff happening with Gamora and how he built that up in the first 2 Guardian movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's gonna be so weird in Guardians 3.
Yeah, I know, dude.
No Gamora.
No Gamora, man. I mean, we still got that Mantis waifu greatness, but damn.
That's probably why Mantis was introduced.
Yeah. Oh no! Now you start thinking about it. Jeez, I don't like that. But yeah, let's talk about some of the characters, man. Like, I mean, we have. Speaking of the Guardians, like.
Wait. One more death that we have to talk about.
Spider-Man, dude.
Hashtag Loki lives.
you.
He's alive.
I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't like catch me off guard. I think he's dead. Just personally, I think he's done. But
I don't think so. Not kill a character that popular, that beloved in the first scene just like that. That does not happen. I can see what's his name, Idris Elba's character dying in that first scene.
Yeah,
that's fine, but not Loki. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
I get what you mean. We'll see what happens.
He's not one of the characters who's going to be brought back, but I think he did like some trickery that let him survive.
Oh, like he just never died in the first place. Like he somehow got away, or that wasn't his real body or something.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him do that so many
times. Yeah.
Like,
he's a trickster. He definitely is.
But yeah, I do want to talk about that Spidey death.
I mean, let's just talk about that whole idea of the film of just everyone just disappearing. Like, how'd you feel about that?
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Fantastic end to a movie.
It just catches you off guard, like just seeing it happen, and then like when he snaps his fingers and then like nothing happens, like you just think like I was just like what happened? You see the gauntlet's like now destroyed too, like it's like bent up and looks like I guess it's done. Like I don't know.
So, I don't know. Does that mean like he can't use it anymore?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't.
That's
I guess
the only feasible way I could see him like being able to be taken down now.
Yeah. But yeah, like everyone, like, you don't think that anything's wrong until just people just start disappearing. They start fading into ash, and it's just really just it's so emotional just seeing all of your favorite characters just slip away. Like it's hard to watch.
It was hard. The 2 standouts were, of course, seeing. Well, we'll save that one for after. The other one is Rocket looking at Groot disappearing. That made me sad hearing him just go like, no,
not again. No. Like that was hard, just seeing just Groot just, man, like, oh man, like just so it's just again just a movie filled with so much emotion, and like that the ending was just so impactful to me. Like that's the main take. That's like I really felt that the most out of everything. It's just that ending was just so well crafted.
It's insane.
It man, and like just again seeing those like Scarlet Witch just disappear, like she's gone. Seeing Black Panther, did not expect that to happen. did not expect that to happen. Like, I thought for sure, like, after Black Panther's success or whatever, like, I just thought, like, oh, no way, Black Panther's safe. Like, that's going to be one of the main Avengers, right? He's gone, dude. Like,
he's gone.
Like, that is crazy that they... And same thing with Spider-Man, too. Was not expecting Spider-Man to die. Like,
I didn't want it to happen.
To me, that was the part that hurt me the most.
That's the one we were talking about.
Yeah, like, Tom Holland. Tom Holland's acting is just incredible, and you see it, man. Like when he looks at Stark and he's just like crying, like, oh my god, he's just a kid from Queens.
I don't want to go. He's just saying, I don't want to go.
He's just a kid from Queens. Like and I love how like you feel that, like you feel like you kind of forget in the mess of everything, but like these are just people still. Like they're still like regular people, kind of. Especially Tony and Peter Parker. Like they legitimately are just humans. So like it caught me off guard, man. It chewed me up and spit me out. I don't know what else way to put it. Like I wasn't expecting basically all the Guardians are done. Like there's no Guardians alive except Rocket.
So one question I have: the Infinity Gauntlet, that wasn't just Earth. That wiped out half of the people in the universe.
Yeah, that's why. Because I remember Doctor Strange says trillions of lives you were taking away. And that was kind of like the confirmation for me. I wasn't sure if because he would have said like just a couple billion, but instead it's legitimately a trillion people, more so. So it's everywhere.
All right, that makes more sense because I thought like with only Earth, I was like, okay, so everybody on Titan is safe, but nope.
Yeah, you see all these characters just slowly, and like it's just I don't know, like I guess. We all assumed that something like this was going to happen, but none of us were prepared for it, I don't think.
I wasn't prepared. We knew something was going to happen, but, like, I wasn't prepared for how they were going to do this.
Yeah, like, they definitely, they went all in. Like, they didn't chicken out of anything, really. I mean, let's get real. Like, we know that some of those characters are going to probably come back, but...
What if they didn't?
Oh my god.
No, they probably will.
Just like Shuri becomes the Black Panther and
that is one while I was thinking about the movie, that is one complaint I do have is Doctor Strange. Maybe you can explain that. It's not really a complaint. It was more like why did you do that? When he gives up the Infinity Stone to save Tony Stark, that was one thing where I was like, you literally just had a scene where you said you would easily, without hesitation, let Thanos kill either Iron Man or Spider-Man.
A kid, literally a 17-year-old. Like, I think in my head, this is what I'm thinking: is he saw this because remember he was looking.
Saw it. Oh, that
and
almost,
this was the way for them to stop them.
I think you might be right. I think because like after he says that, he's like, "This is Endgame."
Yeah, like this is it. And
this is the one scenario where we win.
And I think that Stark is going to realize that. I think he's going to go back to Earth and he's going to realize like he told me this because this was the only option. This was the way it was supposed to go. He foresaw this, and now we have to fulfill that
You're
fate.
Totally right.
And
totally
that's so cool. And I wasn't like thinking that all along. I literally just thought of that now, and that sounds really, really cool. Like that
sounds so cool.
And it makes sense now.
Next movie.
Oh my god, this movie, man!
You heard it here first, folks.
So cool.
Yeah, super cool. I love that if they go that route because that makes total sense.
Because he was without hesitation in a way.
Things.
Yeah, and he just that was the way man. Doctor Strange is just so freaking cool, man. Like I love Doctor Strange. Like
I love Doctor Strange too. Where's that too?
Yeah, dude.
Where's that sequel?
Scott Derrickson, get on that. But seriously, like he's just such a cool character. Like I just man
is really well in an ensemble cast too.
Yeah, for real. And like I love like you wouldn't expect like him and Spider-Man to be hanging out, but they do. And like the cape of Agamotto or whatever it's called, I can't even remember what it's called, but that was really cool. Like just seeing that cape like move around it. The cape is like a character on itself in a way. Like they should just put the cape on the poster too. Yeah. But yeah, like I love just all the character interactions, and then like I'm sure there's going to be more stuff than just that alone that carries over into the next film too. I'm sure there's going to be other plot, like Loki coming back. It's like stuff like that just...
That part 2 is gonna be hype.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about the other problem that I have with the movie real quick. And this is something that you brought up, and I wasn't really thinking about it, but then when you brought it up, I was like, yeah, that was kind of lame.
What's
Hulk
that?
in this movie, man.
He's not cool.
He's kind of lame. He's kind of lame.
He's not cool. Like he just kind of doesn't really do anything.
No.
And like the critics have been saying that like, oh, a lot of characters don't get shine or whatever. I strongly disagree with that. Hulk is in the movie. Like, Bruce Banner is in the movie plenty. Like, you feel his character, his presence. Like, he's just not cool in the movie. Like,
he's just not cool. He gets no actual worthy screen time. Even his Hulkbuster moment wasn't even that cool.
Yeah. You just, I don't know.
His coolest moment was at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. We have a Hulk. That was definitely his coolest moment. And then him crashing through the sanctum. Like, I don't know. It makes me think, because I've heard... I can't remember if this is the Russo brothers or not, but I heard that they were saying that this was like a part of a Hulk storyline that they plan to tell. Like, there's like more to what's going on with his character, and like, I mean, he's gonna...
I don't know if this is the place for that though.
I don't know. Like, I wish it was like, I wish they made it a little bit more of a struggle for Banner. Like, I wish you saw his anger a little bit more on like why he's not able to turn into Hulk. Like, they kind of made a joke out of it where it's like, oh, no Hulk today, fine, I guess I can do this myself. Like, I wish he was like, no, I need you, Hulk, like, please. Like, I wish it was like a little more emotional. Like, the one time when I can't Hulk out, like, are you serious right now? Like, I wish it was like something on that lines, because like his whole like adult life has been just destroyed by the Hulk, and now he can't even become Hulk. Like, that's cool in theory, but like I just feel like it could have been executed a little bit better. And I hope that it pays off. And I think it will. I think that's something that's going to carry over into the next film as well.
I think we'll have some payoff next
I mean, he's going Hulk, like, without a doubt. Like, we're going to get that Thanos versus Hulk fight again. I don't think we're done there.
Yeah. I mean, what other scene really stood out to me?
I mean, like, I love everything on Titan. Like, that's probably my favorite part about the whole movie, actually, is everything that was on Titan. Loved it so much.
I loved everything, dude.
Like, I told you, like, when they were trying to pull that gauntlet off of Thanos, the tension in that scene, I've never felt tension like that in a Marvel movie. Just the stakes. That's something else to point out, too. And that goes into the overall scale of the film as well. But, like, just the overall stakes in this movie. Like, you don't know who's dying. Like, especially after Gamora died. Like, at that point, I was like, okay, like, what are we in store for now? Like, like, I didn't know we were just... It's crazy. It is just crazy. And like the next film, I'm sure it's gonna that those stakes are gonna carry over. Like, I don't think that Iron
Man's dead.
I don't think the fight's over. Like, I don't think that like we're not safe yet. Even though that we've already lost a lot of characters, I don't think we're safe yet. And I think we will have a couple more permadeaths.
I think we'll have some heroic sacrifices to bring people back, although that would raise the question of like, if you could bring back the people who died in this movie, why wouldn't you be able to bring back the people who died in the next movie?
I mean, well, I don't know, it might matter on how they died in the first place. Maybe it like, because if the stone can kill people, I'm pretty sure the stone can bring them back.
I'm not sure. My theory was that they were gonna use the time stone to like go back in time.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Like, at the somehow, I don't know how they would even go about doing this, but somehow Thanos gets a redemption arc where he does it himself, where he brings everybody back before he dies or something.
That would be cool too. But like, I don't.
They make him feel terrible about Gamora's death or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be lame though.
I don't think so. And I think Gamora is permadead. Like, I think only the people that died by the stone are the only ones that can be brought back. Mm-hmm. I think Gamora is done. Like, that she died. Like, it wasn't Gamora's like done. Like, we don't get the indication that they're necessarily dead. We just see them disappearing. Like, they could be going to some other place.
That's the one death in the movie that I would be mad if they brought her back.
I would be too. Because they built that. It was so beautifully handled. Like, just the way she died, just the tone there, her character as a whole, really, really cool. And like, just that whole scene when Star-Lord has that gun on her, man, and then the bubbles. I love the bubbles too. I wish they did more of that actually. Because like that's like I believe that's like known to be like one of his powers or whatever in the comics is he uses the bubbles a lot. And I wish that was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because like in Marvel vs. Capcom, he uses like bubbles in his moveset and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that was
I had no idea. That's really cool.
I wish we saw a little bit more. Because it just looks so cool visually. Like I like that.
Speaking of the visuals and speaking of just the fighting, you were talking about the bubbles. I liked just everything that they were doing in terms of combining all of these different movies that have so much different differences in terms of how they present action. Like it was just combined beautifully. Hand-to-hand combat, mystic arts, Iron Man's suit, all these crazy explosions. You got that just close combat. You got the portals, Guardians coming through, the high technology, just everything just came together.
It just works so like
Scarlet Witch's powers.
Even like
Vision gets a little time to shine.
Black Widow's cool. Like that fight in that trench, Black Widow and what's her name? Oh yeah, I can't remember her name. One of like the standouts of Black Panther in my opinion. Like that tag team when they were fighting and then they like punch her up and then that big ship like rolls over her or the gear or whatever. Like oh damn, like that was just so cool. And like that Stormbreaker or whatever, that axe was really cool, dude. Like oh my god,
God of War now.
Yeah, now it's the other way around. That's funny, but like it was just so that scene when he comes in and lands in Wakanda, like, and then you just see everyone's reaction to like Cap is like you got a haircut or whatever. Like that was funny, and then him just coming in just wrecking house. Like Thor
just looks at Captain America and Thor's just like, oh, you're copying my beard now.
Yeah, and I love how he doesn't even like.
Thor's amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, another dynamic I really loved was it was only in a brief scene, but it was just so good. It was just that Thor meeting the Guardians for the first time.
And Star-Lord trying to be like more all right team, let's go. Like that was so funny. That's probably the funniest part of the movie actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That was just so well done. And like I don't know, like the Guardians are just the Chris Pratt is just such a lovable actor, and that character is just they're probably like the most like lovable characters like in the whole MCU, like in terms of like.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he disappeared. He disappeared.
Oh, my favorite characters.
But yeah, I mean something else I kind of want to point out. We need to get real. Thor's the strongest Avenger, dude. Like that's the sense that I got, man. Like Thor is really damn strong. When he came in, like they were about to all lose, and then Thor comes in and basically clears up everything.
He's a god.
Yeah, like he is the strongest Avenger now with his lightning abilities and that Stormbreaker. Like he's powerful, man. And oh my god, and then Rocket, and we waited for that moment for Rocket to meet Winter Soldier for so long, and he actually says the line that everyone wanted him to say, like, oh, how about that arm or whatever. Like that was just so well done. Like all the fans wanted that. I've seen so many memes of that interaction happening, and it finally did, and that was really cool too.
Why?
Of the the whole thing, like, oh, I took his eye or whatever, or like, oh, I just took this for what, like, he always does that stuff, and like it just paid off when he's like, oh, can I take your arm or whatever. Like I can't remember the exact line, but it paid.
Everybody wanted that meeting
because of that alone. You never seen those memes, like the memes of him like, oh, like I want your arm or whatever. Like I can't believe you've never seen those.
That was a meme?
Yeah,
I can't believe this.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen it before. Because like people in the theater were like laughing hysterically at that, because I know a lot of people wanted that interaction, not just because of that, like that's basically it, but like it was a cool interaction. And then when he grabs him too, when he grabs Rocket and he starts spinning around and like they both start shooting, that was really cool, just so cool. Every action scene, man,
really great.
The stuff on Titan too, like Iron Man's suit has never been cooler. Let's get real, like that suit is freaking awesome. And then, like, the way he uses it, like, the way it kind of morphs, it's almost like a liquid on him or something. Like, that is so cool. Like,
this movie is so good, dude.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I honestly, like, we're approaching 40 minutes now, so.
One of the best movies I've seen
It's my favorite. It's my favorite Marvel movie.
Best Marvel movie, one of the best movies, period, that I've seen in a long time.
One of my favorite movie-going experiences for sure, dude.
Since Mad Max, probably the best movie I've seen.
Yeah. It just, yeah. I mean, what I was saying we're up to like 40 minutes now. I could keep going, dude. Like I could keep talking. Like there's so much here. Like I'm sure when I see it again later today, or tomorrow, whatever, like I'm sure I'm gonna find more things and more little instances to pick up on and talk about. Like it's just, damn, dude,
it's amazing.
Yeah. One more thing I kind of want to talk about a little bit is we kind of talked about it a little bit, but like predictions wise, what do you think is happening next in that part 2?
We talked about like what I'd like to see. I'm honestly not sure. I feel like we're gonna enter a stage where our group has to recuperate before going to take on Thanos again.
Yeah, I don't know, like, how do we get to Thanos now? Like, I mean, but that's the thing, like...
And I don't think he's even staying on Earth for a while after that. Like, I think he's leaving.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be super interesting. And, like, Thor now has a Bifrost just on him at all times. Like, that's extremely viable right there. Because he can legit just go to Titan, grab Tony, and then come back. Like...
Yeah.
Like, he's, like, again, like, Thor is one of the most powerful Avengers now. Like, he can legit just use that in all of his fights, and that's really cool. And I don't know, in terms of, like, where the fight's going to take place and how it's going to take place, like, what are we doing here? Like, is it going to be about time? Like...
Ultimately, I don't think it's about time. Like, we're done. Like, we lost. There's nothing to do anymore. Like, the only goal is to take down Thanos at this point. I think a big part about part 2 will be exploring Thanos in terms of redemption and exploring how he felt about Gamora and what he feels now that he's accomplished what he set out to do.
Yeah. I think that's definitely going to be a theme at play. And also, I think they're really, really going to stick hard to the whole, like, revenge, like, vengeance. Like, I think they're really going to, like, Avengers, you know what I mean? Like, I think that, like, some of the characters are going to be like, we've lost. Like, it's, maybe even Cap will be like, that's it. Like, it's over. And then I think Iron Man is going to be the one that, like, because he knows,
I think so.
Well, Iron Man, he knows that perhaps Doctor Strange gave him that stone so that this is the way that they have to stop him, and maybe there is a way to save those other people. And plus,
is Doctor Strange gone too?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about all the characters that are gone, dude. So it's legit just Iron Man on that planet.
Iron Man, and yeah, I think it's just Iron Man alone, and I think that's gonna really affect his character a lot, dude. And then when he comes back, and like, where's Spider-Man? Like, where Aunt May might be still alive. Like, where's my boy?
Oh my God, no.
Like, and then like Ned too, and like you have his character, and then you have Pepper Potts. Like, if he finds out that Pepper's gone, like, he's gonna want revenge. Like, he's gonna be angry as hell, dude. Like, he's gonna like, and then he's gonna be the one that's like, no. Like, I feel responsible for Peter Parker's life, for his life being lost. Like, I need to avenge them. And I think that's going to be a theme. I'm not sure if anyone's going to disagree with his ways or like feel like they can't or anything like that. But I think that's going to be like how the characters are feeling.
That just proves the Doctor Strange theory even more now. And
yeah.
Now that he's gone, like, Iron Man will be the sole keeper of that knowledge.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
Dude, who knows that he's on Titan right now?
No.
I don't think anybody knows.
I don't think anybody does. No. I mean, like, I have to think that, like, maybe, like, the suit or something can, like, transmit something, like, to Earth, where it's like, oh, I'm here, and then, like, Thor can use his Bifrost or whatever, like...
I don't know, dude.
You think he's just lost in space? Like...
Who's left? Rocket is left. Rocket is the only one who knows that the other Guardians went to do something.
Yeah.
So, I think that's how you get him back.
Yeah. And then again, you probably use Thor, though, because Rocket and Thor are BFFs now, so...
Yeah.
But, like, I just really hope that that's what we focus on is loss in the next film. Like, exploring that theme would be something that's never been in a Marvel movie. Like, just characters just being sad, and, like, that's crazy.
Do you think the next movie will be as dark as this movie?
I think it will begin dark, and it will feel dark, but then it will be very, very uplifting by the end. Like, very uplifting, very, like... You're happy again, like everything's gonna be okay by the end, the world's at peace kind of deal. So they can get away with it being super dark.
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, like I think by the end you're gonna be like, hell yeah, Avengers, save the day again. Like you want the Avengers to win. Like, let's get real. Like, I don't want anyone to die. So, like, it's man, good movie, and I'm so excited to see what is the movie even called. Like, damn, dude, there's still so much mystery.
I've heard rumblings.
What rumblings have you heard?
Avengers Endgame.
That sounds kind of cool. I love End. I would definitely put End in the title.
I'd be fine with that. No, I got it. End of the Avengers.
Oh God, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it's about time we start wrapping this up. I think we pretty much we talked about the gist of everything. Again, I could probably go on for at least another 30 minutes. But
great action. I just cannot.
Yeah, that's something that and it's something that's hard to express with words too. It's incredible. Like, good lord.
That's that Russo brothers magic in there. Like, if you liked the airport scene in Civil War, it's just that for the entire movie.
Pretty much. And like, I remember telling you just how visceral it all is too. Like, when Tony walks out of that sanctum and you see that camera just following, like, it's just on his shoulder, and he looks over that corner where everyone's running from. Like, it just is real. Like, you feel like this
action, it has such a mirroring how the movie is itself. The action has such a scale to it. Like, fights in previous movies would generally just be in one location. Sometimes they'll just like they'll like punch each other into completely different areas.
Yeah.
Like, there's the portals with Doctor Strange. Like, he would warp around. That very first Scarlet Witch and the henchman Thanos, the way that like Vision and them are flying across the city to another part of the city. Yeah,
when the Hulkbuster punches that big hulking other dude or whatever, they're like way like further in Wakanda, I guess, and like they're like near a waterfall now or something. Like, it's like a whole different environment.
It's
like
a whole different environment. That's
so cool. So, and also when they went back to nowhere too, I almost completely forgot about that. The Collector's in this movie too. Like, that was so cool. Like, yeah, he
rest in peace.
Yeah, and I love how they just mentioned, like, oh yeah, by the way, like, Xandar's that's destroyed. Like, that's done. Like, Thanos just wiped that place clean and got that power stone.
Did he say he destroyed it, or did they? I thought they just said he like broke in and stole the.
I'm pretty sure that he killed them all. Like, I'm pretty sure that like, I don't see a way where John C. Reilly can get out of that situation.
Rest in peace, John C. Reilly.
Although, what if he like shows up? You just find out that he's just on the poster. Like, the next poster, you see John C. Reilly with like a pistol in his hand, like looking all badass. Like, it's like,
mine. Get him in.
Yeah, I'd be totally down.
Oh, but one thing is, there were two characters that weren't in this movie.
Yeah, where is Hawkeye?
Where's Hawkeye? Where's Ant-Man?
I mean, like, Ant-Man's gonna have to have a lot of explaining to do when that movie comes out.
They said, like, they gave in movie reasoning for where they were, but like, next movie they gotta come out. They gotta, like, shit is going down the entire planet. Like, they have to.
They have to, and I think that like Ant-Man will kind of play into the beginning of their house. I mean, you literally see the beginning of Ant-Man's house arrest in the trailer. And like, I think that it will be set before this, and I think the movie will end with like one of the Ant-Man characters, like Hank Pym,
so cool,
just disappearing.
That would fit that into this chronology if, like, at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, you just see all of this stuff go down.
Yeah, like, just literally like Ant-Man's like everything's okay, and then like literally like Hank Pym's just like, what's going on, and he just slowly just starts disappearing, and then like, oh damn, like, okay, this
that would be so good. I hope they do that.
Yeah, and then Hawkeye.
If they don't.
Hawkeye is a family dude. If any of his family gets hurt, oh, I don't like that.
He's done.
He's got babies. Hawkeye's got babies.
Speaking of characters that were gone, why must you take away my Nick Fury? Like, I needed him in that final installment.
Yeah.
Like, I needed him for that callback.
That last line was really good. Classic Samuel L. Jackson line there.
And we'll be getting that Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. I'm super.
When is that movie supposed to come out?
Like a couple months before the next chapter in Infinity War.
Are you sure? I thought it was after.
I think it comes out. I believe the next Infinity War movie is in July.
Oh.
And then that comes out in like, I think March or something like that.
Okay. So then Ant-Man and Captain Marvel will both be leading into the final. That's pretty cool, dude. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because then you'll have those characters both set up. I wouldn't even be surprised if Hawkeye was in Ant-Man, dude. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would love that, and I love that these movies can be standalone and still keep you aware of, like, oh shit, We're getting that next year.
Yeah,
It's not like a break. It's not like a break in between. It's like, oh, it's still happening.
Yeah. I want to see Giant Man like just step on Thanos and Thanos just carrying his foot, just like no, like I want to see that so bad. Like,
oh man, the stuff they were doing with the Infinity Stones, just like the
way he
like,
switches
changing.
between them too, so cool. Like you see it happening on his gauntlet. It's like like
On
he
the
can
fly.
like he can pick them like the one. It's like a game or something. Like that was so cool.
The way he was like absorbing attacks and then redirecting them back.
Oh, he catches the big explosion. I believe Tony Stark caused or whatever, and he just like throws it right back at him. Like, oh baby, that's cool. Like,
And then the scene that they show in the trailer where he like literally grabs a moon and throws fragments.
oh my god, and you feel, dude, the vibrations in the room at that scene. Like, he just,
Oh yeah.
like you don't
Feel the weight.
You see that moon in the background of like a lot of shots, and then suddenly he's just pulling it down. Like, oh damn.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool.
I love that they made Thanos like super overpowered, but not in a way where it was like it ever felt like, oh, okay, so why are we even fighting this guy? He's too powerful.
Yeah,
Like, it
I'm
always felt
so
like it was within grasp of taking him down.
Like they almost pulled off that gauntlet. Like they were getting it on the tips of his fingers.
Because it wouldn't be entertaining to watch if it was just like Thanos like
Just like
grabbing an
done,
entire
done,
moon
done.
down
Like
and-
yeah, just like killing everybody. Like
But oh wait, the one scene we have to talk about, and we've already talked about this scene, but more specifically that final stretch of the movie where Thanos just warps into Wakanda, and it ties into that Scarlet Witch Vision scene where like she has to kill him, and Thanos is just walking towards Vision, and it's the last stand. This is everything. Like if Thanos gets to him, they're dead.
Yeah, and it was
And
just
you just see every single character get their one moment where like they charge at Thanos and he just disposes of them in one way or another.
I love that.
And it's just completely muted. Only the soundtrack. Wait, we didn't even talk about the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack's
goddamn soundtrack.
so good, dude. It's so good.
The soundtrack is incredible,
And
it's
the
not one of those-
strings, man, those strings, really getting those feels.
It was beautiful. The soundtrack, the moment in the soundtrack that really, I mean, there were so many moments that stood out to me, but one of the moments where I was just like, holy shit, this soundtrack is when Thanos first warps into Wakanda, and you just get these bassy drums just blaring in your ears.
Yeah.
Nothing else except for those drums. And I was like, oh my god, it's happening.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that scene when Cap has
that
that
sequence.
when Cap just has that glove in his hand, like he's just pushing it in his face, like you just see like the desperation in that scene. Like you really feel like they lost, dude. Like it's over. Like, and then like you think that there's hope because she takes out Vision, but he just uses that time gem, revives him, and oh man, just you have to watch him die twice. Like damn, Vision. Poor bastard, like for real. Like
it's just
he's the only character that has to die twice in the movie.
Yeah. It's so true. But yeah, the soundtrack it's fantastic. It's not like you're gonna remember like individual tracks, but in the movie itself, the context that it's in, it's just so wonderful.
It works so, and it's paired just really well. Like I really like what they did with the Black Panther soundtrack, and I like how, again, like I mentioned before you even saw the movie, how they like use that theme again, and they even use like the original Cap theme as well. Like I love how they kind of like they take those themes and mess around with them and stuff like that, and they like, oh my god, the introduction to the Guardians too, like when the space just pops up on the screen, like oh my god,
that space,
like that was giving me that Civil War vibes when we saw Queens. Like we all knew who was there, like we all knew what was going down, and it was the same way that it was just man, freaking cool. Love that.
I think we can agree, like the Russo brothers are the best thing that's happened to Marvel.
I think so too, and it really goes to show how
they're responsible for the 3 greatest movies in the MCU.
Yeah,
now.
And like that's the thing, like it just really goes to show how. And let's get real, Kevin Feige is the real master in chief here, our Lord and Savior Kevin Feige. Like this guy, like just the way he picks his talent, the way like. He doesn't grab just popular directors that know how to make action movies like Michael Bay or something. Like he grabs just talented directors that know how to make good movies. Like legit.
No matter how small they are.
Yeah, the Russo brothers directed television. They directed episodes of The Community and How I Met Your Mother. Like, how does that, like, that's so crazy that somehow worked into this. Like, where did this talent come from? Like, I love that kind of stuff. Like Peyton Reed directing like a really cool action movie. That's the director of Yes Man with Jim Carrey. Like, that's just crazy. And then the Creed director, and then you just it's a miracle. Like how everything is just worked out.
Amalgamation of creative talents in the industry have led to this entire cinematic universe. We've talked about this. Like, no matter how mediocre or even average these movies get, they're never bad.
They're never I never leave the theater disappointed. Like, I'm always like, that was pretty good. Yeah. It's either that or that was great. So like, there's never like a moment where I'm just like thoroughly disappointed, and that's really, really impressive to have over 18 films and not have one of them, like all of them are fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Every single one of them. That is insane. Like, how do you do that? Like,
that's that Feige.
Seriously.
That's that Feige greatness.
DC has to be pissing in their pants right now. Like, it's, I almost feel sorry for them. They're like, just, oh my god. Like, it's, man.
It's not fair.
It's not fair, dude.
I saw this on Twitter. It's like, Infinity War showed DC how to properly handle a dark and serious story. Like, you can still have these lighthearted moments, and you can still make something dark without it being edgy, without it being try-hard. Like, this was dark in the most heartfelt and emotionally rich way you could have a dark movie.
Well, I think that what the main takeaway that DC needs to have is you can't just get this. You have to build to this.
You have to work to it.
You have to work your way to this. Like, you can't just like, okay, here's Justice League. Like, we don't care about Justice League right now. We don't care about these characters. Like, you got to build to this. Like, there needs to be at least 2 Batman movies before we get Justice League. Like, that's just the way people want to see it. Like, it's okay to copy like Marvel. Television. Like, it's the same way as television. You don't have the finale before the whole second season. Like, like, that's just not how it works. You have to build to it, and especially with you know, film as a business. Like, anyway, that's a whole other discussion to have there. Like,
that was one thing I really liked about this movie too, is that they knew this was like the culmination of everything.
Dude, so Red Skull was in the movie, man. It's like, I never would have thought that character would have come back from Cat 1.
Comeback there, but they know it's the culmination, so the whole movie feels like a climax. Like, it feels like the whole movie was built up to. There's never really a moment where it's like, where it feels like they're building something up, except maybe the 2 seconds of exposition they give about the Infinity Stones at the beginning. Like, other than that, it feels like the whole movie is the final act.
Yeah, that was the only part where I'm like, okay, this is for the people that don't know what's going on. Like, that was the only part of the movie where I was like, okay, they're explaining this for the noobs in here, the scrubs that haven't seen all the Marvel movies. Like, that one, like, little, like, literally, like, 2 minutes of them explaining what the Infinity Stones are. Like, that was cool. Like, I appreciated that. Like, that's I'm glad that they can still make the film viewable, you know, to people that haven't seen all of them. But
at the same time, I'm glad that we're out of this state where these movies have to be self-contained. Like, I wouldn't say that this is a self-contained story.
Oh, definitely not, dude. Definitely not. I mean, it literally, definitely like, if you have not seen Ragnarok, you will not understand what's going on in this movie.
Like, where this movie starts.
And again,
I feel like that might be where some of the complaints are coming from, but like, if they had, I'd much rather this than trying to make this a self-contained story.
Yeah, like, you can do that. Boring. You can do that with like Black Panther and Thor. Like, that's fine, but like, this is the build up here. Like, it just, I don't get it. That's like watching Deathly Hallows before watching Prisoner of Azkaban. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's like, why did you even watch this movie?
Yeah, like, it's a sequel. Like, these are all sequels. Like, that's the way I see it. It's all a part of one thing. Like, maybe that's why they don't numberize them, because it's all part of one thing. I guess maybe that's because it doesn't cause confusion that way. I never really thought of that, actually. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I think it is.
I think that's it.
Everything.
If you actually stayed for this entire discussion, God bless you, and you should hit that like button and comment and let me know if you actually stayed, because I would give you kudos for that for sure. Yeah, comment down below. Give us your thoughts on this movie, and try to refrain from spoiling it too much. I mean, don't go out of your way to spoil it, but
I don't know. The comment section of this video is free to spoil.
You're free to spoil, but don't just be like blah blah blah, Cap dies or whatever. Like, be a little, because some people are gonna click on the video. I just spoil the whole damn movie. Just spoil the whole thing in the comments, please.
Nobody should be. You're an idiot if you're looking at the comments.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That would be a pretty foolish move, and we're not going to be held responsible for that. So comment down below.
Just talk about whatever you loved.
Yeah. And thank you for watching. We always appreciate it. It's always fun to make videos together. We're going to be doing a lot more videos together in the future because, E3 is drawing near. We're going to have those discussions. I'll plug those properly later on. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Make sure to subscribe to PhenomSage. You can check him out in the description below. Check out his hot anime content.
Shit.
Yeah. And look forward to more videos between me and him and... solo stuff as well. E3 coverage is starting up soon, and here's looking forward to the next Marvel movie, dude. The bar has been raised for sure.
Ant-Man feels like a step down at this point.
It's gonna be a step down, dude. It is, but like it'll still be a fun movie.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.